Much love to everybody. What you need in the building. I hope everybody's doing well today. So, we're going to talk about Garros Jr. statements. If you like this video, don't forget you can share, like, subscribe, and you can also comment as well as donate via Western Union MoneyGram. Garros Jr. said how they're still interested in the fight with Devin Haney. He's going to Al Heyman to see if Al Heyman, he pressed Al Heyman, he really wants this fight. He talked about how he'll still need 8 weeks necessary training to prepare for the fight. And he also talked about the fact that he thought that Devin Haney and his dad, that they talking, but they weren't serious about backing it up, in the sense that he was saying that Devin Haney and his father, they never DAZN, and they weren't on board. Now that's not true. DAZN and Matchroom, both Eddie Hearn and DAZN, expressed the desire to see this fight happen. Nonetheless, all right, Gary Russell Jr. has been saying some untruths in between, but nonetheless, let's get to the point. Point is, he doesn't think that November 7th is a good enough time to have the fight. Okay, he said he needs more time. Now, Devin Haney's not going to wait on Gary Russell Jr. Devin Haney has a fight November the 7th. So he's going to fight November the 7th. Okay, that's for sure. Whether it's Gary Russell Jr., whether it's Gamboa, that's what he gets. That's what he's going to do. But interestingly enough, Gary Russell Jr. said that the fight, being a priority for him sounds good. Now, I don't know if he would want to do the fight this year. Because after Devin Haney's finished fighting in November, he's not going to I don't think, at least, he's going to just fight Gary Russell Jr. in December, the month after. He could. It's possible, but I don't think so. So Gary Russell Jr. had a window of time to answer. He was talking about, how some fans are saying, do the contract, accept the contract, accept the contract. I would say you are supposed to go through with your lawyers like a fine-tooth comb with the contract. But the only thing he has said about the terms that he didn't agree with now is the date. So he's talking about date. So it's possible that they're still negotiating, that the door is still open for them to make this fight, which would be good. The thing about it is, you better hurry up and try and make the fight, because if he really wants to make the fight, we're talking about November the 7th is when Devin Haney's fighting next. And Devin Haney's not going to just give up that date for no reason. So if he wants to make the fight next year, because that's what it looks like from what he's saying, he doesn't have enough time to prepare, which is still, in my opinion, a way of not facing Devin Haney. Okay. Because you had a lot of time, and you made demands, you made terms, and all this talk. See, my thing is this. It's good that Gary Russell Jr. gets a chance to speak and all of that, and he's relevant now. And everybody knows his name now. So that's good for him. He always chitter-chatter when it's time for him to get a fight. So I get it. But my thing is this, all right? If you keep on crying wolf all the time, you say, oh, I want to face Terrence Crawford. Oh, I want to face Devin Haney, right? As much as people say, well, Gary Russell Jr., I really believe that. Listen, think about Gary Russell Jr. said he broke Terrence Crawford's jaw. He didn't break no jaw. Okay? Mark Davis told us he didn't break any jaw. In fact, he had to restrain Terrence Crawford so he wouldn't murder him. Okay? So clearly, Gary Russell Jr. is just clout chasing on Terrence Crawford. And he said, I'm gonna go up and face him. You ain't doing shit, Gary Russell. Don't bullshit us. Okay? Don't bullshit us. You're not going to jump up there and try and face Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford would murk your ass. Okay? I don't know who you think you are, but he would destroy you. He would destroy you. Okay? I used to think Terrence Crawford was too small as a welterweight. He grew into the... He literally could take your punches, walk through that. He just recently did that. When he was fighting, what's the kid's name? Mean Machine. What's Mean Machine's name? He literally took Mean Machine's a power puncher. You saw Mean Machine just stopped the guy. He took Mean Machine's punches. Yeah, Mean Machine dropped him, but he got back up and walked through his punches, and finally realized left hand right hook was working, and he left hand right hooked that kid to death. He literally brawled the kid and beat him up. He literally fought him and beat him up. Okay, he was still keeping his D pretty tight, but so you, from what we heard, and y'all was young, you hit him with a punch and he ate it like it was nothing. Okay, what you gonna do when you throwing punches? You're not no Floyd Mayweather. You quick. You can throw 8-punch combinations and shit, but you're not no Floyd Mayweather where you got impenetrable defense and shit, right? When he starts walking your ass down and dogging you, and it become a dog fight, you are going to get destroyed. Destroyed. Know your place. You are an excellent featherweight. You could be an excellent super featherweight. You may even be an excellent lightweight. But you ain't. You Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford spars heavyweights and bigger guys, much bigger guys than you. You're not going to be a problem for him. Not at all. And from what you say, you throw 5-6 punch combinations on a guy, right? Devin Haney don't do that, and he still gets guys out of there. You know what that tells me? You got to throw a bunch of punches to get a guy out of there. Devin Haney don't have to do that. It means his punching power is significantly greater than yours. That's what it means. Now, props to Gary Russell Jr. I thought you dropped Vasily Lomachenko. I knew it was a close fight. It was split decision. Could have swung in your favor, and you could have gotten the win over Lomachenko. Okay. But at the end of the day, even so, a rematch with Lomachenko, it's only common sense. You are trying to do something that's incredible, but all of all, as far as I know in history, all of the featherweights who jumped up to lightweight, they usually do a test fight first. So you want to go and face what's the kid's name? I forgot his name again. The Dominican Republican kid, Fortuna. If you want to go and tune up with Fortuna, and if you don't get smashed by Fortuna, because Fortuna is rough and rugged and he uses his weight and his size, right? But if you can get past Fortuna, then we know, okay, he can handle it. You know, Tank, he went up to lightweight, he did it the right way. He went against Yuriorkis Gamboa. Javier Fortuna is another name in boxing. You know, Gamboa and Fortuna, you know, more or less on the same level. Former world champions, etc. I think Fortuna is actually a world champion. Anyway, you go, you handle Fortuna, then you know you can handle the lightweights, and then you go against a guy like Devin Haney. You know what I mean? Devin Haney, in the meantime, yeah, take that Gamboa fight, because the way how Gary's speaking, Gary don't want that fight right now. Okay, everybody can see it. I mean, you ain't got to be blind. Gary don't really want that fight. He's saying he want the fight, but he don't want it now. All right. Eventually, y'all can match up. You know what I mean? Lomachenko, he got Teofimo Lopez right now to handle. That's a lot for him. That's a lot for him on his plate. Lomachenko's going to have to, you know, box his socks off, and not just box his socks off, but he needs to strengthen himself a lot and get his conditioning as good as possible, because he's going to have to eat some punches. You know, that's the thing with Lomachenko. He's been eating punches a lot. And guys have been getting better, and he's going up in weight. They're getting heavier as well. So their punches have a lot more effect on him. That's why he had a bruised face against Jose Pedraza. He had a bruised face against Luke Campbell, bruised up face. He had a bruised up face against, I think that's about it. He got dropped by Jorge Linares. He's getting beaten up. He's getting touched. And against Teofimo Lopez, he's going to get touched. He's going to get touched by Teofimo Lopez. Now, the question is, will he be able to? He's going to get touched. That's all I'm going to say. He's a good fighter, but he's not Floyd Mayweather. Y'all now he got a lot of things in common with Floyd Mayweather. Don't get me wrong. Okay? He's got a lot of things in common with Floyd Mayweather, but he's not Floyd Mayweather. Y'all making him sound like he's Floyd Mayweather. He's not Floyd Mayweather. Shout out to XX Roy, 2013 XX. Would you do live boxing? Hold on. Would you do live boxing debates with other YouTubers? Yeah, I don't got a problem with that. The only thing I have is a lot of guys, when they can't control the narrative, they kick me off of their platforms, right? They just kick me off of the platform, just like that. And they say I talk crazy and stuff. I've never said nothing that's crazy. I said Clarissa Shields, she could last 3 rounds with Terrence Crawford. I never changed my tune. I've been saying the same thing. Okay. I said that Deontay Wilder, when he didn't accept the Anthony Joshua offer, I said, listen, it could benefit him in the end. I said that belts belts don't make fighters. Okay, belts don't make fighters. You know, everybody's chomping on the undisputed, and world champion. I say the context is who are you facing to become undisputed? And we now you can see people making my same argument now because they got accustomed to it. Okay, Terrence Crawford was undisputed. All right, great achievement. But it's not the same as facing a Sean Porter. It's not the same. Now we're seeing it. Now we are getting. It took people a while to get to what I was saying. I was correct all along. Okay, I was correct all along. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem debating anybody on anything. All right, but you got to understand. Hold on a second. I'm smelling fire. I'm smelling smoke. That's probably in the back. Somebody burned something in the back. Yeah, somebody burned something in the back. Okay, cool. Now, um, the first person to have kicked me off their platform was Boxing Beats and Rhymes. When Boxing Beats and Rhymes said something really stupid, he said that one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time was Julio Cesar Chavez, and I said that is some bullshit. That's bullshit. He's not a great defensive fighter. He has underrated defense, but he's not a great defensive fighter. And you know what's the funny thing about this? This man kicked me off of his platform because I was yelling and screaming and yelling, by the way. This guy kicked me off his platform. I'm the one that supplied him the information. Okay? He went and watched my video of Julio Cesar Chavez, and I said, see, Julio Cesar Chavez and Canelo Alvarez used to ride punches. That's why Julio Cesar Chavez didn't get knocked out like people think. Everybody feels Julio Cesar Chavez just had a hell of a chin. He did have a hell of a chin, but he rode punches. What I mean by that is simple. A guy punches you and you roll and you ride it. And I said, that's bullshit. I told him on his own program, that's bullshit. He's not a great defensive fighter. He has underrated defense, but that's not what he's known for. He's known for his chin. So I went on, and they kicked me off for that. And they kicked me off of Boxing Beats and Rhymes because I was saying, man, y'all talking some bullshit. Okay. The other time I was on EJ Boxing Live, EJ didn't kick me off his program, but he just has people who could just kick you off a program just like that. Okay. And I went in on H Money because H Money was just dominating the conversations over people, right? H Money. I made a bet with H Money. I said, H Money, listen, man. You say that Sean Porter would beat Errol Spence. You saying Sean Porter would beat Errol Spence? I say Errol Spence, because I went on what was it? I went on somewhere, and I think it was on EJ Boxing Live, and I told Tommy Temple, who was on it at the time. I told him, man, listen, I'm gonna I'm gonna whatever it needs to bet, because I lost the bet with Lomachenko versus Guillermo Rigondeaux, right? Lomachenko beat Guillermo Rigondeaux. So I said, okay, I'm gonna honor that bet. And I did my thing and I honored the bet in front of everybody, right? So after that, H Money was making this statement that, uh what is it? That um he was saying some crazy shit about DAZN, how DAZN is the greatest thing in the world and PBC is crap. And I went on to explain to him, Al Heyman is not a promoter. Al Heyman is a manager. PBC is a platform. We got PBC fighters everywhere. So I was explaining that to him, and I held my peace. And H Money kept on going on and just repeating like he was a retard or something. And he was just dominating everybody's conversation. When somebody say something, he just break in and just dominate. So I started yelling the guy down. I said, what the fuck is going on here, man? Dude, shut the fuck up and let everybody else say their piece. You just keep on. And so he left the chat because I just opened up on him because he was dominating everything. And then this stupid little guy, I forgot what his name is. His voice sounded like a mouse. He just kicked me off the chat just like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got quiet after that. I wasn't talking or nothing. And I just found myself outside of the chat. And then after that, now, you see, I had beef, or Boxing Librarian had beef with me because I had spoke about something way back in the day. And Boxing Librarian, I don't know what's going on with him, but I spoke about the fact that Harry Crabb had only beaten what's his name? Uh Shit, I forgot what the guy's name is. He was a boxing scientist. He only beat him once, but he had beaten Harry Crabb. I believe it was 2 times. I think it's 5 times they fought, whatever. And I said that's like the modern Mayweather and Pacquiao. And then boxing librarian, who was partial to Pacquiao at the time, he got mad, because we were talking cool and everything. And then he said, you're not humble and stuff, because I was going in on some people on my channel, okay? And that's where boxing librarian started his beef with me. And he was like, you don't really know boxing and stuff. And to some degree, I didn't know, and I was learning. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he tried to go in on me, and because I was doing all these Mayweather videos, and boxing librarian secretly on the sly is a Pacquiao fan. Okay, he a fanboy, believe it or not. And he said his favorite boxer is Harry Crabb, and I'm like, how the fuck Harry Crabb could be your favorite boxer? You never seen him box. Like you're the great boxing librarian. You never seen this motherfucker box. You just read about him. How can you be a fan of somebody? In boxing, you're a fan of an athlete because you see them box. Now, there's some other channels that came through. What the fuck is this guy's name? I forgot what his name is, and he tried to diss me as well. But he went into the gutter. He don't even. I don't even think his channel's around anymore. He went into the gutter with me, and he's trying to get me to go down in the gutter. But I'm a guy that argues points. I don't go in the gutter with people. You understand what I'm saying? You want to go in the gutter, that's your thing. So he started calling me names. He tried to say things about my mother. He tried to say things about me from his observation of me. He don't know me. You know what I'm saying? He don't know me. So that channel went in there, and I just laughed. I was laughing to myself, and I'm like, this nigga don't know me. He don't know what I do. I mean, he trying to gather information and then do ad hominem. I don't give a fuck about ad hominem. You gotta understand, my life is good. My life is good. No matter how I look here on camera. If you see me off camera, you wouldn't believe this is the same guy on camera. Because I'm just chill. I'm laid back right now. All right. You see me off camera, I'm a different persona to some degree. You know. All right. So I'm an intellectual person, obviously. Obviously. All right. So anyway, he tried to go in on me. I just laughed because to me, I know what I'm doing. I know the effect it's having on the boxing community and the boxing world. You don't have to tell me. I know what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? I don't claim to be the be all and end all of all. No, what I say on my videos, they're true. You know what I'm saying? I don't get everything right in predictions, but it's true. And I always will stand for the boxer. I'll always stand for the athlete. You'll always see me doing that. I'm always trying to be as fair as possible with the boxer and the athlete. All right, just of recent times, I've been watching a Blue Blood Sports TV. Blue Blood been saying some really good shit up late. He was kind of anti Mayweather, and obviously I understood why. King of the Mountain kind of thing, putting a guy under scrutiny, whatever. But now he's turned around and said some of the things that's opposite to what he usually did say. You understand what I'm saying? Which is because Floyd's out the game, he retired, whatever, right? But my point is, anyway, a lot of people say I'm a Mayweather fan. Hell yes, I'm a Mayweather fan. But Floyd Mayweather ain't bigger than boxing. He's not bigger than boxing, okay? Boxing goes on, all right? I'm not going to talk about, he's the past, okay? We're looking at the future now. Shakur Stevenson, all these kids. So anyway, so you guys will understand, I've been kicked off of Intangible Boxing. He comes to my channel all the time for knowledge. He always comes and talks to me. He told me in the beginning, man, you's the guy I always come to see because you always educate people on boxing. Because you say things that other people don't say. He said that to me. I never said that about myself. Even though I did say it about myself. I said all these other channels, they just want to soothsay. They want to say to you bullshit. So when I went on what's this dude's channel? Shit, I forgot his name. Guy from Texas anyway, right? He said some good things. When I first came on YouTube, I used to listen to his stuff. But there's certain things he just don't understand. And I'm not mad at him, you know what I'm saying? But when I'm on your channel and then you kick me off your channel when we were in a debate. That was with the Clarissa Shields versus Terrence Crawford. And they made this shit, and he actually put erroneous information out there about me. which I didn't. I was seeing it because I was on his feed. I was subscribed to him, and he was like, how I'm saying that, Carissa would beat Terrence Crawford. I'm like, what the fuck? You're so masochist. You're so such a misogynist that you twisting my words. I never said she would beat Terrence Crawford. I said she would hang with him in a sparring match. I said in a 3-round sparring match. It was sparring, by the way. She would hang with him. We wasn't talking about real fight even. We was just talking about sparring. It was one of the craziest shit I ever seen. They took that. Then they said they were talking about punching power. And what was the guy's name? I forgot. He got a friend. I was on his thing. He didn't kick me off, thankfully. We had a civil discussion because I say certain things that are counterintuitive to a fan of boxing. To people in boxing, they understand. It would be like, yeah, he's right. You know, but to somebody outside of boxing who's a fan of boxing, who sees boxing a certain way, they can't understand that. So when you say, which would you prefer to be hit by, Deontay Wilder or Chocolatito? Okay, I look at it, I don't want to be punched by neither, motherfucker. You crazy? Which you think punches harder? Which do I think punches harder? Ninja, I don't know. You could have a little short little guy like this and he punches harder than a big tall guy. He was like, well, look at Deontay Wilder, man. Look how much knockouts he had. I say some people are knockout artists. That don't mean they punch hard. Some guys punch so hard, but they don't knock anybody out. There's different kinds of power. There's different kinds of way of punching. There's different things going on. So I don't know. And besides that, if somebody punches me and I'm instantaneously knocked out, okay, if I'm instantaneously knocked out, I won't know that the person knocked me out. I wouldn't even be able to tell you what happened, right? So I can't tell what punching power is unless he's punching me in the foot or in the leg or somewhere else to see. And then what you see, what a lot of people don't understand is you get punched in the leg, let's say one day, right? Or you get punched in the leg. Let's say Deontay Wilder punched me in the leg. Then I let Chocolatito, Roman Gonzalez, punch me in the leg, right? The first punch obviously is going to make my leg numb, right? I'm not going to feel nothing in my leg. So I got to wait for that to wear off before Chocolatito could punch me in my leg again. You get what I'm saying? You can't really, unless you've experienced it, you really can't tell the punching power of any one person. And the strange thing about this is different people describe punching power different ways. One of the dumbest ass questions I ever hear is, and they say it over and over. People, you could tell these people never box a day in their fucking life. They say, man, so who do you think has greater power? Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather? And Oscar De La Hoya said, well, they punch about the same. They punch about the same. I felt Pacquiao's power, was they punch about the same. That's what Oscar said. Shane Mosley said Pacquiao punch a little. Pacquiao punch is not hard, but it's like they have some effect on you. That's how Shane Mosley put it. See, when you constantly getting punched, you're the dumbest person ever for anybody to ask who punch harder. You know what I mean? Now, some guys will say, man, he rattled my skull when he punched me. The other guy, man, I didn't even know he punched me because I was out cold, Because, see, punching power has to do with how you administer it. So, like, for instance, when Gennady Golovkin broke Kell Brook's orbital bone with a punch, he didn't knock him out, but the bone density in his hand was so fucking dense that when it's like steel hitting against bone. You understand what I'm saying? It broke Kell Brook's orbital bone, and Kell Brook immediately got blurry in one eye. See the different kinds of punching power. So that's why when my friend when this dude said what he said on the program, I said, man, I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you who's more powerful and all these kind of crazy, stupid questions fans ask, unless you register it on a machine. So let's say Deontay Wilder goes there and punches a machine, and it registers how much pounds of pressure he administered to it, and then Chocolatito goes to that machine and punches it, and it registers a certain amount of punch and power on that. That's the way to know. Or if you've asked somebody and they would say, well, this guy, to me, he punched harder than that guy. All right. But that's a question. It's kind of a dumb question. It's not punching power. What people need to ask is, man, how effective is that guy in the ring with you, man? Like he stopped you. You know, what you find he was doing to you that made him able to stop you like that? That's what you should be asking. Because that's a question that can be answered if the other boxer knows what was happening in there. Or you ask the fighter who stopped the boxer. Because one of the weirdest things is, from what I heard, I've never done it, but I've experienced being punched before, and I have punched other people. When you punch somebody, right, you don't feel the punch when you punch them, right? I remember I was doing karate and I accidentally hit uh, a fellow colleague in his stomach, right? And that dude, for 4 days straight, his internals was damaged. He was in pain for 4 days straight. To me, it wasn't much of a punch. I tried to pull the punch, but I didn't quite hit him. I didn't quite pull it, and so it just touched him, right? But my sensei was telling me that, those are dangerous punches. You got to make sure you have the right distance. And I punched him, and boy, that dude was out for 5 days, and he was a week or so, right? It didn't feel like nothing to me, but I wasn't the one receiving the punch. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand that is a dangerous thing. This boxing, a dangerous thing in sports, period. Or martial arts, period. So it's like the guy who actually punches the other guy. He don't really know how hard he punched. You see what I'm saying? No matter how much leverage he puts into, you don't really feel the punch. It's the person who gets punched feels the punch. So it's one of those things where when you talk about how hard somebody's punch is, it's a subjective thing, because the person who gets punched will describe it to you the best way they know how, right? And you can collate that. You can collate all the people who've been punched by that person. Some people sort of dramatize it, so they say, "Man, this guy punched like an earthquake. Man, when he punched, man, my eyes rolled up in my. He punched, man, my vision immediately blurred for a minute, and it came back, and I was hearing a sound in my ear." Right? That's what people want to hear. They want to hear that kind of stuff, right? But it's not like, fighters today, man, they're being punched by punchers, man. They get punched by guys much bigger than them. So it's like they're used to that stuff. So what I'm trying to say is that, I've been in different groups and I've been making certain points. I've been very consistent about what I said. I don't say things that are crazy. Sometimes I don't verify my information, but for the most part, I don't say crazy stuff. Okay. I remember when I was talking about Roberto Duran, I said, "Well, who would Roberto Duran be?" Y'all saying that, it's crazy. I said, when Roberto Duran was a champion, okay, I said, and Jose Luis Castillo was a champion, I said, Jose Luis Castillo faced tougher competition, in my opinion, than Roberto Duran. When they're talking about punch wise, KO ratio and that shit. And they went nuts. He was like, "Oh, you a hater, Roberto Duran, blah, 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 blah." And that erupted into something else. I think I got kicked off the group again. And I'm just saying, that's the kind of stuff. And I've always been consistent. I said the same thing from since when, and that's the way I work. So that's why I don't just go on people's channels anymore and guest. I'm gonna go on certain channels where I know the people won't like. They won't like. Even if I remember I was on Tommy Temper's channel, I was blurring, and Tommy Temper was like, "Man, can you calm down and stuff?" You know what I'm saying? I've been on different groups and different channels and different people, and you got different people with attitude, and they try to control the narrative. They try to control the conversation as well. I don't have a problem with that, but my thing is, you got to be able to let people say their piece. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this channel, I don't have a problem if you want me to do a live stream, because you want me to do a live stream with somebody else coming on here. I don't have a problem with it either. But I try to give people their piece. You say your piece. There was a guy that came on here, and he was talking about how Rocky Marciano, he was past his prime and stuff, and I was like, man, that's crazy shit. But I never kicked him off, right? I let him say his piece, and then when he was done, I said, "Okay, let me say my piece now." And this is why this is crazy, right? And the whole point behind it is, I believe that people must be free to express themselves, even if their reasoning seems whack and crazy. But a lot of times when I speak from a boxing perspective. I'm not going to talk about people. I don't have time for who you are and stuff. I remember when I was talking with Tommy Temper and Day about Boxing Librarian, I was like, I'm not on Boxing Librarian. He can do how many videos he want on me. I'm not on him. He's interested in me. I'm not interested in him. You know what I mean? And I wanted them to understand that I'm not really on this this female shit where y'all trying to get beef with each other and beef back and beef. You know what I'm saying? I handle my business by staying in my lane, doing what I do. And if I put forward a gem on you and you felt that, you thought you was gonna clown me and shit, ninja, do you. If you feel you clowning me is gonna give you more clout so that you can shut down my channel. You can't shut down my channel, first of all. Second of all, my channel has ridiculous views on certain videos, and it still happen. People still watch my videos all the time. In fact, I hear boxers talking about my videos. All right, and that's because not because I am great or anything. It's the information. And all of the information I got from, and I started observing things, come from guys like Barry Robinson. I will never forget that dude. Okay, Coach Eric Bradley. Okay, Precise Striking. Okay, Master Boxing. Oh, my dude, that's not I don't see him on YouTube anymore, but what's that dude's name? Oh shit, it's coming to me and it's going away. But that dude, also Lee Wiley. I used to check him out a bit, but then he started going Zoid a bit. But I understand. I understand. I still respect him. I still watch his videos. Hands God, Hands God said how Tito Trinidad, his hands was just hard. It wasn't just raps. We was debating that on a group. You know what I'm saying? And he still thinks he's right. I think he's wrong. I think Tito, they used to rap their hands wrong. And that's what gave Tito that knockout power. He wasn't much of a knockout artist after it was kind of exposed with Bernard Hopkins. But that's a whole other story for another day. William Joppy still believe it, and Fernando Vargas still believe that. But yeah, I've been in boxing debates and stuff. I put out stuff in different groups. People appreciate what I say. One guy, he said, he came up to me in the comment section. He said, "Man, you the first guy to actually say that." And I always believe that. And I was glad to see somebody confirm that. And I was like, "Yeah, man, cool." But there got a lot of people. You see, the thing with boxing, right? A lot of people got egos because they always feel boxing is this testosterone driven thing, and they think it's yeah, knock him out, nah, because you get amped when a guy's going for a KO. You know what I'm saying? It's an amp thing. But you gotta understand, they're women like that too. They come from fighting families and shit, and they be like, get him, ninja, get him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But the guys in the ring, they don't think like that necessarily. They got mean streak and everything in them, but they gotta stay kind of composed and take the guy out. Back in the day, guys used to be like, and when they hear the crowd right, they go, back in the day it was like that. It was like that. They get wild and they trade and shit. But nowadays, boxers today understand the sweet science. They understand the science of it. Even if you look at Teofimo Lopez, it's science he's using. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko, science he's using. Lomachenko's not the biggest puncher in the world, but he beats you down mentally. Then he beats you down physically. You know what I'm saying? I like him. I like Lomachenko. Don't get me wrong. Even though I know how to beat him, at least I know our game plan to beat him. I like him. You know what I'm saying? I thought that after all the Eastern European fighters that came across here, he one of the best of them. But then I saw Bivol and I was like, damn, I like Bivol too. Bivol's my boy. I still like Bivol, right? Bivol's, he's smart. He's a smart dude. I think out of all of them, everybody talks about Usyk as well. Usyk's good too. You know what I'm saying? Usyk's good. He's very good. I like Usyk too. But really, my favorite is Bivol. I like Bivol, and I was always a fan of Artur Beterbiev. But he a big, strong dude. Like he should be a heavyweight actually, but it don't look like that. But he's solid. He used to fight heavyweight in the amateurs and shit. So he a big dude. He not no like heavyweight. He bigger than that. Yeah, but he had to regulate his weight. He's solid too, man. Shrunk down. He basically a shrunk down heavyweight fighting that light heavyweight. He's a bad boy. Out of BWF. Oh yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Dvorak wasn't strong enough to handle him. You know what I mean? And he burned himself out too, trying to, all that nervous energy. And then BWF was beating him up in the clinch, roughing him up and shit. But yeah, man, I like certain Eastern European fight. I'm a fan of Kovalev, Sergey Kovalev. I know, yeah, okay, Sergey Kovalev, he's racist and blah 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 blah. He's being involved in all these problems outside the ring, but inside the ring, I like him. You know, he's precise, he's technical. He got that little slickness to him. He got that little, that he's not straight up and down. Like, Gennady Golovkin is more straight up and down than Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev, of course, he's an outboxer, but I like how he angle himself, and you don't know if you're gonna pop the jab or you're gonna throw the right hand. He cocks it as if he stays off center, and he's just cock it the kind of way, leaning forward, virtual distance, and all that. John David Jackson did a great job with him, and then he had the amateur background and all of that. So, yeah, man. When you ask me these questions, I'll just let you know so you know what it is with these different groups and stuff. And I think you and Troy King would be good. Troy King is a dope dude. I learned a lot from Troy King. I advise anybody go to Troy King. He is dope as hell. He got a little biases towards certain fighters, but I don't care. He knows boxing. Okay, Troy King knows boxing. Him and that other what's the kid's name? I forgot what his name is. This is another box. Aaron Coley. Aaron Coley Jr. Them boys know their boxing because they actually box. So they know that stuff. So I see I'm very respectful around Troy King. Anybody been in boxing, you could tell from the time they start talking, you could tell the people who been in boxing. You could just tell, and you have respect for them. And you're like, oh yeah, I want to pick your brain and find out some things because I myself, yeah, like I said before, I'm still training for boxing. I still do my thing. I shadow box. I do my foot drills. I exercise. Look at me, man. I look good, don't I? It's because I'm staying healthy. You know what I'm saying? And I do my thing. I'm not just doing it for curiosity. Like I said before, I will get in that square circle and I will duke it out. And I've done a little sparring and shit, but nothing really serious. So, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Like I said, I'm really serious about it. It's taking a little while because you gotta understand, you gotta prepare yourself properly, and it takes a while to do it. If you don't have like a trainer, you don't have the materials where you are, you don't have a gym right near to you. It takes a little while, but you still work on your craft. You work on it every day. You do a little something, little something. Stay in shape, stay healthy. That's the key. I haven't gotten sick with anything in almost a year, and that's great. And I had stomach problems, all kinds of things, and that stuff is going away, my reflux and so on. So I'm gonna just tell you guys, man, boxing is beautiful. But going back to what you said, so yes, I have this platform thanks to Tommy Temper. He's the guy that opened the way for me to be able to uh, host other people on here as well. I'll put some interesting topics down. I don't know why people like if I say Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, everybody comes here, and I'm like, come on, man, like seriously, I mean, like there's other things to boxing than them two guys. I mean, Floyd still staying in the public, Pacquiao staying in the public, but I mean, there's other people, man. You know, I got more materials for you guys, so don't worry. Stay tuned. What you need is in the building. That's what we here for. What you need, and we also uh all about people sharing their opinions. Oh, there was another guy, man, from New Zealand. I forgot, I haven't seen him in a while. Um, I shout out to him if I could. I can't remember where he is. He was also a cool dude, and we had some talks and chats together. It was great. I'm gonna host some more people on it, but for now, I just wanted to talk about this Gary Russell thing, and it went way out of control. We have 38 minutes, almost 39 minutes now, about a couple seconds into 39 minutes. So I just want to leave that with you guys. What you need in the building. Don't forget you can also subscribe, share. You can also donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. We will try and keep it locked and loaded here as much as possible. All right. Peace. I'm out.